I don't work for the Danish government, but they should call me. Here's how you deal with the whole Greenland thing. My name is Eric Zuleika. I talk about geopolitics for the Underreport, and sometimes I give advice to actual nation states on TikTok. Here's the strategy. It's gonna work, and it's called slow rolling. This is a well-known technique in bureaucratic institutions and even diplomatic circles. And essentially what you do is you rely on the inefficiencies of bureaucracy and make up some more bureaucracy in order to delay decision making. Or you can even just make the decision on paper and then slow roll it, meaning that you delay enacting the actual thing. And look, Denmark, Europe, you have done this before. The EU was like, yeah, we're gonna cut off all this Russian oil. We're not gonna have. But the national regulators were like, oh, but we gotta get that paperwork on. Customs enforcement was under resourced. Meanwhile, most of Europe is just sipping up Russian oil, funding the war in Ukraine. You've done this before, guys. You can do it again. Slow roll it. The US military does this all the time. Between 1964 and I think like 1965, the US slow rolled escalation in Vietnam. And they did this through requests for additional intelligence and ensuring that supply lines were solidified. All of this stuff happens on paper, and it's a way of, let's say, gently pushing back on the administration. But at some point, the slow rolling has to end. So what happens when we run out of random excuses? Well, I am glad you asked. For something like this, Congress will have to be involved. All you need to do is slow roll it into the midterm elections. Once the House flips, then political priorities probably won't involve getting Greenland. Denmark, this is how we start the slow roll. In 2009, you had the Greenland Self-Governance Act. Cool. That means that the government in Greenland can vote itself free if it wants to. However, I believe the final say will eventually go up to the Danish Parliament. Speaking as an American, we don't know that European elections last like a weekend. We assume that all elections have to take 2 years and feel like WrestleMania. So you guys negotiate with the US, you say, hey, yeah, absolutely, we gotta put it to a vote with Greenland. Greenland is like, well, we got about a 6-month election cycle. Or here's another way of getting that slow roll on. You just start naming bases after. Just find a rock and be like, that's Trump. It's a sacred Trump rock. We gotta have a ceremony about this. This beef jerky is tough. We're giving you the King of the North award, and we need to plan the parade. So you come back here in 6 months, and we are gonna give you the King of the North award. Denmark, call me, Eric at the Underreport. It would work, I think.